All right, hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I'm Mad Statter today. This is Chatter with Statter, and boy, my voice sounds weird today. Didn't realize that till just now. Alrighty then, let's see if the allergies are going to let me continue to talk. I've already got the eye drops in my eyes and the nose drops in the nose. No pills yet, but we'll see what the day brings. All right, it looks like we have got folks waiting in the vestibule. No, in the chatterbox. We've got Shock letting everybody know to watch out for some new times for Andy Bumatai. It sounds like he is going to be Monday through Friday, 3:30 p.m. West Coast time, which ends up being perfect because on Wednesdays and Sunday, well, Wednesday's really the only day that matters. On Wednesdays, when we show up at 5 p.m., we'll go to 6:30, which 6:30 my time is 3:30 Hawaii time. So we can have what could be a 2.5 to 3 hour tour on the Daily Pigeon Hamajang Gang cruise of the Wednesday eves. So let's see here. We've got Terry and Scotland coming in with a party of 3, and I'm guessing Katie's Aura is part of that party. I'm also guessing that maybe Terry and Scotland is part of that party. Darlene's here, might also be part of that raiding party. And let's see here, Rick also saying hello to me and the chatterers. Who else we get going here? We got Terry, we got Darlene, we've got Shuckalak telling people on the YouTube side, hit that likety-like button, and Verity Hunt saying Aloha Sunday. Let's see here. Yeah, Terry, you go take care of your thingamabobs that gotta be done. We're not really gonna start rolling till after the intro starts, and we haven't even got to the intro yet, so there you go. And Darlene is, let's see here, wait, something she asked. Darlene asked, here we go. Did you have him cook a couple of dinners ahead of time for the freezer for you to pull out? Shock says because her personal cook is going to be gone for the week. And she said, no, I did get some prepared Indian entrees in a foil back and I can warm it up. Good plan. Mitchie Mama in the house, DJ Smook as well. All right, so roll call has been done. Foods have been alluded to. That's right. We're still going to talk about food today because when would we not? But right now we're going to get the party started with, the typical Black Kitty Cat intro. All right, there we have it, rabbit. So, speaking of kitty cats, let's see here. Yes, Terry had a black cat intro. Oh, wait, Terry has a new intro as well because of his black kitty cat? Or are you just saying that Terry and a black kitty had an introduction thanks to the Cat Distribution Network? I am very curious, Terry, to hear if your little kitty has remained with you over the evening and throughout the day. But... excuse me, sorry about this, guys. But speaking of kitties, we had a Leo sighting today. Not only a Leo sighting, there was a full-on Leo interaction. Because boop-a-doop, out of the linen closet, he came popping down onto my laundry machine. Came into the living room and looked and saw that the front door and the back door were both open. So he decided to mosey on out the front door and just take a little, just rest there in the sunny spot. And let's see here, hanging out on the front porch, licking his paws, snoozling in the sun. My kitties weren't sure what to do with that, so I fed them. And then he came inside and he got a leisurely bit of crunchies. And then he wandered away, and my cats were definitely less than impressed. But I have to say, Leo, he was feeling good because he let me scritch his ears. He let me scritch his back. He almost let me pick him up. In fact, I probably could have, but I decided not to. And let's see here. True desperation is an older gentleman needing to pee and searching. Yes, actually, Terry, it's funny you should mention that because I have a friend who is in his mid to late 60s, and he has explained to me that exact frantic situation himself. And yes, Leo is definitely still here making his presence known. So that is wonderful. Let's see here. I need to clean some glasses because I can't read anything that all y'all are saying. And that is the sadness of an older woman whose bad eyes are just getting worse. All right, there we go. There we go. Mama Sean, good to see you, by the way, on the YouTube side especially. So, for those of you who were here last night for the very abbreviated Statterbox at the Cinema, I want to thank you for putting up with this short show. But I have notes and I misplaced them. Hold on. That was an attractive face. That was a good looking face. Let's see here. Hey, PBB Bang, good to see you. All right, so yeah, I do omit some of your comments, Terry. That is correct. But Shock tells you why. You know why. You know why. Anyway, so last night on the stream, we watched an hour-long documentary about called like The Original Wayfinders, the Untold Story of Polynesian Voyagers or something. It was like a quadrillion words long, whatever the title was. Anyway, we wanted to know when it was made, and best we could come up with was 2004. Shock had a great suggestion. Why don't I search my YouTube history to find it? Well, you guys, I did that actually. Later on, I know that I was busy right after the stream, so I had to leave. But then later that night, came back home and I did do that search. And I'll tell you what, eMusic, so glad that you're here. I'm talking about the stream that we had last night. So I did a search, a lot of searches on the interwebs for the creator of the movie was Luke Cuyvers, Cuyver, first name Luke, Luc. I did a bunch of research on this, that, and everything. Anyway, it looks as though the video that we watched has been removed completely from the internet. There are vague traces of it, but then when you click the link, they're like, oh, cannot find, oh, video been removed, oh, gone, all pow. When I go to Luke's IMDb page, they don't make mention of it. However, it does look like he also wrote a book of the same name. And that book came out in 2004. So, even though I cannot verify stamp the date for certain, I do believe that based on the copyright date at the end of the movie that we watched, and based on the research, that video was created around 2004. I don't know, Shock. We might be having some of the only copies. I was kind of intrigued, because I went through my Facebook history and it was gone. There was nothing there. It was as though I never watched it. And it's like, but I know I watched it. And I don't know for certain if I watched it and grabbed it from YouTube, but I don't know any other place that I would have grabbed it from other than YouTube. So I'm 99% sure that I got it from YouTube, and it, like I said, it's just not in my history anymore. So, Trail Dust, good to see you. Puzzycat, good to see you. I don't know if you were here earlier, but we had a full-on Leo sighting, not only yesterday, but today. He was snuggling and snoozling in my linen closet. Then he came out and he snoozled on my front porch in the sunshine. Then he came in and he grabbed some kibbles, and then he wandered away happily after I scritched his ears and his butt. So, Leo is having a great day, and I can verify that Leo is walking around belly-fed and happy. And let's see here. There's a lot of disruption, or I'm having weird stuff happen when you're online. Let's see here. Yeah, Shock, I was thinking of hiding a copy on my Google Drive in case my computer croaks. Totally. Hey, Broken Soul, good to see you. And let's see here, Verity. Yeah, I wasn't sure, Verity. Do you mean distractions here? Because, well, I mean, I'm not dropping any frames. Like, all of my system looks good. That doesn't mean it looks good for you, but from what I can tell, it looks okay. And yeah, it says, Mama Sean and Shock are like, no, I think it's cool. So that might be, I don't know what it is, but I'm glad they're here and trying to be here. And let's see here. Darlene, I am super stoked that the temperatures will be dropping for your area, because you just need to stay inside. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but let me just tell you right now, you should probably stay inside for the next day or so. And, all right, so let's see here. It's down to 93. Oh my. And, Darlene, let's see, Shock, you're a bit bummed. I missed most of that movie yesterday, but we were let out. Well, you know, Shook, that's okay. I can totally get you a copy. In fact, it might behoove me to get you a copy, right? We might be the only source of that movie ever. But the reason why I wanted to look into it was because at kind of near the beginning of the movie, eMusic posted, when was this filmed? Or when did this come out? And obviously, tone is hard to read on the internet, so to speak, but I definitely got the sense of, when did this movie come out kind of tone, because there were some things in the movie that was like, I don't know, man, I've heard different and or more than what you're telling me. So I definitely want to say that this movie, or that documentary, very good, and I learned a bunch of stuff from a different angle that I didn't know, but there was definitely some things that even I was like, I don't know if that's our most up-to-date knowledge on the topic. So, and which is why she was like, when did this come out? And alas, 20 years ago. And PPP Bang, exactly, that, which is another reason why I'm bringing it up. Maybe it was buried because it was full of misinformation or something. Precisely. And so, even though I'm glad to have the copy and I did learn some things, it's definitely a movie to be like, I'm not going to take this as gospel, but these are good pieces of the puzzle to have in mind. Because, yeah, I was wondering that myself, PPP Bang. Like, why did it get pulled? Like, so, really, I mean, obviously, I only know how to do so much in-depth searching, but it was very clear that every time I hit on what looked like a good lead, that video had been removed. I mean, sometimes the site even said video has been removed. And just the fact that it was completely removed from an IMDb seems odd too. Exactly. That was really weird. And the only real reason why I could even like confirm that, I mean, aside from the fact that I have a copy of the documentary, the only way that I was really able to confirm that this thing existed was the evidence of the book that dude wrote and released in 2004. It's the book. You can still find evidence of the book online, but the video itself, no. So, yeah. And, by the way, Candy from the Cove! Good to see you, fam! I saw you come in there, and I was busy talking about things and stuff, and I did not greet you. Yeah, eMusic, the movie had really good stuff in it. Totally. But, it's definitely a movie that you want to remember when it came out, because it did come out 20 years ago, and things have been revealed. Okay, Mitchie Mama, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, the documentary, it's an hour long, that we watched was called The Real Life Wayfinder. Let's try this one more time, shall we? The Real Life Wayfinders. The Untold Story of Polynesian Voyagers. Now, if you Google pieces of that title, you will get a lot of different movies, but not the one that this one was. When you do the entire title, plus the creator, Luke Lucuyvers, Lucuyvers, that's when you start seeing things missing or deleted. So yeah. And DJ Smook, you are back. Good to see you. So let's see here. Terry, if she is truly a Bombay cat, which she might be given the orange eyes, that is one expensive cat. Someone is probably freaking the flying fork out. And as long as she wants to stay in your home, I would definitely not be putting her out on the street. That is an expensive cat. The cat distribution network really decided that you were going to be blessed. So, keep her warm and cuddly. I'm assuming she's a her. I don't know for certain. I just feel like she is. And then, let us know what you named her if you have named her yet. And I have a feeling you're probably already going to keep her because you just said she's wonderful. And I thought I might name her Ellie, but I can't stop calling her Kitty. Well, listen, Terry, this is how things work around here, okay? One of my last cats, every single person knew her as Little Girl Kitty. That's what Little Girl Kitty's name was, right? Little Girl Kitty. No, dude, her name was Olive Oil. I mean, she knew her name was Olive Oil. She would come to Olive Oil, but did I call her Olive Oil? No, never. Except for on paperwork with the vet. She was Little Girl Kitty. So, and she came to Little Girl Kitty, but she also knew that she was Olive Oil. She knew her name, but she also knew her other name. Now, my orange cat, Whiskey, well, that's great. Whiskey is Whiskey, but Whiskey was an orange cat, and he would wear a green collar. And whenever he was in his orange cat self with his green collar self, he was Citrus Pete. Why was he Citrus Pete? Because he's an orange with the little stem. He's Citrus Pete, right? So, every kitty has more than one name. In fact, their real name should be kept secret from the world. Only you and the real kitty know, and maybe the vet. Then you should have the worldly name, the unofficial name, but that's really the official name. So there you go. See? And Andre, my goodness, thank you for gifting all those subs. And it looks like we got a hype train that might have started, which maybe means somebody donated biddies that I didn't notice. Or else maybe just the 5 subs. Either way, Shaka, thank you so much. And I was busy talking about things and stuff. Another t-shirt says Trail Dust. Exactly. And actually, you know what, Trail Dust? I really do think I do want to get a t-shirt that says, I've done some things. I've seen some stuff. Because when you get to be my age, all of our age, if you've been living right, you can walk away saying, I've done some things. I've seen some stuff. And Trail Dust, your cats are Mallow, Thursday, and Bobbles. See? But do you call them Mallow and Thursday and Bobbles? Or do you call Bobbles Mr. Bobbly Boo? Because I would call Bobbles Mr. Bobbly Blue. And if I didn't call him Mr., I'd say Mrs. Bobbly Boo. And then I'd probably just end up calling him Boo. Right? Because that's just how that works. And, well, if that's our Binks, my son always has called him Black Cat. Right, exactly. Black Cat. And let's see here, Terry, wait, was it Terry, you gave the 1,000 biddies, right? Or was it Andre who gave them? No. Thank you, Terry, for the 1,000 biddies. Thank you, Andre, for the gift subs. I think that's how that all fell down. And let's see here, Kenny from the Cove. Hobbs would respond to Hobbs, Bub, and that's how he became Bubcat. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If your cat hasn't had at least 4 names over the cross of its life, then you have not filled up your allotted name slotting yet. And PBB Bang, you just celebrated Midsummer this weekend. Exactly, that makes sense because it is the solstice, which technically I guess isn't midsummer, it's the beginning of summer, but it's kind of midsummer because it's the longest day of the year. What did you do, PBB Bang, to celebrate Midsummer Eve? Last night, I went out. I was going to do karaoke, but then I went and saw a live band. And then, because I'm old, I left early because it was... You guys. You guys. I grew up... I was a rocker. Live music, always. Rocker. I had to leave early because the music was too loud. The music was too loud. Yeah. The music was too loud. That's why. And I was... And I was starting to get a headache. Who the am I? I'm old is what I am. Yeah. Yeah, too loud, Verity, too loud. Yeah, it was too loud. Exactly. I have nothing to say other than I feel shame. Like really big shame. And let's see here. Oh, wow. Nice. In Finland, although it does make sense. In Sweden and Finland, at least, it's a bigger celebration and it's an official holiday. People get days off of work for this. Fair enough, my friends. I mean, come on. You've got... Yeah. I think that you pay a lot of winter debt to get those days off. I think that is perfectly reasonable. And Andre, thank you so much for the 400 biddies. Or 500? 1, 2, 3. 500 biddies. Sorry, I don't know how to count. And I know, Darlene. Wait, no, that doesn't sound like me. Exactly. Who the flying fork am I? I was a little bit embarrassed. And once I got home, and this is, once I got home, I went and I did research and took notes about what we were just talking about with that movie. And all I could think of was, oh, it's so quiet. Oh, listen to the beautiful quiet. Get out my knitting needles, y'all. It's time for Grandma to get in her rocking chair. Yeah, exactly. Care for those ears. I'll be wanting them. I do think I need to get earplugs. I do remember when I used to go to shows all the time that I did wear earplugs, which might explain why I was like, God dang, this is loud. So I should probably start putting earplugs in my purse if I'm gonna go to live shows again, because I will say this, the band that we saw was pretty awesome, and I didn't really want to, I was enjoying myself until it was just too much, man, until I wasn't enjoying myself, and then I had to go. I just had to go. So yeah, old lady in the house. And thank you, Andre, for those gift subs. And Luke, I don't know how to spell it or say it, Shock, but I'm gonna write down how. Woo! What did I just do? Okay, I'm gonna stop pressing buttons. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, Shock, how you spell his name is this. There. That's, and then so for all of you who are like, what was it called again? Here, I can write it down, I think. It's called The Real Life Wayfinders. The Real Life Wayfinders. The Untold Story. The Untold Story of, let's see here. Of Polynesian Voyagers. Alright, so that's it. So if you can Google all those details and find it, then there you go. But I couldn't find much. And let's see here. Andre, you remember going to a Motorhead concert and they were selling Motorhead earplugs before other people doing that? Well, yeah, I think because Motorhead was clocked as one of the loudest concerts in, Guinness Book of World Records loud concerts. And I know that when I saw Motorhead, I did make sure I had my earplugs. There was no two ways about that. And sometimes I feel like I have an old woman's spirit in me my whole life. I've been like that since I was a kid. Exactly, PPP Bang. Exactly. And Trailless, live music and live theater is always better. Absolutely. That's why I was kind of horrified by my problem. Oh, okay, so Shock is saying if you buy his book on Amazon, there's supposed to be a DVD of the TV program on it. Oh, I wonder if that's why it was pulled, maybe, because they're trying to sell it? Yeah, I don't know. Either way, yeah, we got the bootleg. And if it's a band that I really like, Dropkick Murphys, for instance, I'm still down for some good old-fashioned hearing damage. If I leave a concert with tinnitus, it was a good concert. Yeah, well, then I didn't leave the concert with tinnitus. I just had a headache, which was really actually the embarrassing part, right? Okay, there's 4 left for $11 each. Okay, there we go. Well, I don't need to go buying it because I stole a copy, gall dung it. And Terry's bragging about his newfound friend. Kitty just jumped on my lap and looked me straight in the eyes. Love me, she seemed to say. I do. She's my cat. There you go. There you go. And exactly, Mama Sean, congratulations on your new baby, Terry. And let's see here. Oh, if you're not mistaken, Metallica holds the current record for concert loudness. Yeah, I'm not surprised that record has since been broken. But precisely, Verity, too loud is too loud. You know, I mean, there comes a point where I don't need it any louder. Trust me, I can hear you. And there comes a point where it's so loud, it starts to distort in my head and it doesn't even sound good anymore. So here I am, once again, explaining what it's like to be an old lady. And let's see here. You have tinnitus, but honestly don't know if it's because of your stiff neck. Massage could cure it. Yeah, tinnitus isn't always caused by loud noises. That is true. And I wouldn't be surprised if you might be able to massage it out of it. I saw on YouTube this, cure or whatever, this doctor who was doing this weird massage that helped people with tinnitus. Not always, but a lot. And he, on the video or whatever, he did about a couple people, and immediately they were like, "Oh, dude, yeah, no, this works." But there was this one dude who was like, "No, you're full of crap, dude. This isn't working. It didn't work for me. Screw you, doc." And so he left the office, and then apparently like a half hour later, as he was walking home, suddenly his tinnitus stopped, and he was like, "Oh my God, maybe that doctor wasn't so full of." Because he'd had tinnitus for, like, years, this guy. I want to even say over a decade. Which, to me, sounds like a bit of a nightmare, frankly. And so, and yeah, because I for sure have good days and bad days, it changes a lot. Yeah, I wonder, PPP Bang, if you would be very susceptible to the massage remedy. I hope you find solace for it, because tinnitus, when it hits my ears, because sometimes it does just show up randomly, it is annoying and it's distracting. And let's see here. Andre, I also saw Motorhead in a really small venue on the top floor of the UC Berkeley Student Union. So you need earplugs even more. Yeah, but I didn't mind the sound back then. Right, there you go. Well, we're all getting a little bit older, and our wild days are kind of behind us. But check this out, you guys. We've got some wildness in front of us. This week I went out and I had some dim sum. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But after we went, let's see here. Madstad, are you referring to yourself as old is offensive? I'm older than you, and I don't think I'm old. Well, Kenny, if you're more than 50, you're old. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being old. It's a badge you should take. It's a badge you should embrace and throw down always. Because with elderly, with oldness, comes experience, comes wisdom. You're smarter. You've seen more things and done more stuff than your 20-year-old self. And you should be proud of that. And not only should you be proud of that, you should recognize how lucky you are to have made that age. Because I can list so many of my friends on my fingers and toes that didn't get past 40, 45, 25, 18. You know, these are you and I. We're all of our gray hairs should be worn as badges. And so old isn't meant as a judgment, but you sure as hell ain't young. And that's okay. And that's okay. Andre, when they send you that AARP membership, you are old. Dude, I'm a member. I've got a card. You're 29 years older than you ever thought you'd be. See, dude, you're old. And old is good. Own the crone. Exactly, Verity. Own it. And Darlene, you've got the goal right there. Gray, I'm white. The gray is gone. The goal is the white hair. Abso-flippin'-lutely. But right now, I just got a few grays, and I'm proud of every single one of them. All my rowdy friends have done rowdied on down, and cornbread and iced tea has taken the place of pills and 90 proof. Exactly, says Hank Williams Jr. Exactly. And so ain't nothing wrong with being old. I think it's something to be proud of. And let's see here. What are we doing? Next time in DC, I'm not doing a camp. I'm gonna dig up a group of best dim sum we can. Oh yeah, dude. So anyway, yeah, we went and we got the dim sum, and we will be talking about that. But after the dim sum, gray and black hair, that's the best combo, actually. But after the dim sum, we went down the block to this Chinese grocery store. And when I say Chinese grocery store, I mean it was kind of Pan-Asian, but basically very Chinese-oriented. The vast majority of the products sold there were China, not Thai, not Vietnamese, not Japanese, none of that. No Mexican, nothing. This was a Chinese store, okay? And it was packed. It was packed. It's called T&T. And it was packed. We spent a lot of time there. I'm going to have to go back there. It's in Bellevue. And for all of you who know anything about me and know about Bellevue, you know that I do not abide by Bellevue. I don't do Bellevue. I don't like Bellevue. I don't want Bellevue. I don't go to Bellevue. Girl, I'm going back to Bellevue, okay? That Chinese food store or Chinese store was amazing. The bakery was amazing. You could get a pork butt for $10. I mean, like, oh man, and yeah, no, but you know what, dude? No, Andre, I know what you're saying, but you're wrong. This store smelled so clean. So Andre's saying, I love the aisle in those places, especially the sauce. There's always a stinky spot in those aisles. I don't know how. I've never been to an Asian mart where their seafood section, their meat section, their every section smelled so clean. One reason why I can tell you that was so clean is because with the amount of food that was going in and out, dude, everything was getting sold. There was nothing on the shelves sitting there for a day or two to get a stink on. This was a great flippin' store. I wonder what's going to happen to them getting stock. Might want to go sooner than later. Very good point, because that Chinese store is from Canada and they're going to open one in San Francisco. Yeah, I noticed that there was a lot of brands that were a lot of like the pork belly and the ground beef up in this one section. It was called Cherry Blossom brand, and they were all manufactured in Richmond, British Columbia, right near Vancouver, British Columbia. And no, I don't have a luscious pork butt. Oh wait, no, I do. I think I still have one in the freezer. But I was gonna go get a luscious pork butt at the T&T grocery store. And Andre, when they open in San Francisco, you're probably not gonna want to go for the first month because it'll be packed. They have to clean the shelves and the floors too. Yeah, exactly. And they do there. Like, I'm telling you, Michi Mama, like, a lot of Asian marts, first off, are in very old stores in my area. So there's just a smell to their refrigerator section to begin with. But even the newer ones, after being open for a couple months, it's like, oh yeah, this is the seafood section. You can smell the seafood section. No, dude, you could smell the salt water, but not the seafood, which was beautiful. Beautiful. And the coolest thing about this place, we didn't eat there because we ate dim sum. They also have a street food section that we didn't explore. And then they've got a deli mart, and they've got their whole bakery. Like I said, it's great. But Andre, you're not going to want to go there for the first couple months because it's going to be packed. And apparently still to this day, even though T&T's been open for over 6 months in Bellevue, apparently on Fridays and Saturdays, there's a line waiting to get in the store still. So we went on a Thursday, so it was just, there wasn't a line to get in, but it was packed, and there was kind of a line to get out. But I definitely can see why it's all the rage, right? And yeah, no, I definitely want to go back there. Well, first off, I need to go back there because for the mango cake alone, I was like, this is part of my birthday week celebration, so I bought a mango cake, just like basically like a Costco-sized muffin, is what it was. I've never had a cake so delicious in my life, and I know it was sugary, and I know it had wheat, and I don't care because I want it again for my birthday next year. It was so good. Oh my God. And after the Lono listening break, we will be talking about the dim sum, and we will also, though, be talking about what I got at the Chinese store, which is, I had tons of options. And I literally was asking random strangers in the aisle which one was best. Because one of them that I grabbed, she saw and she's like, oh no, that's the worst one. Don't grab that. Grab this and this. So, we have... Anyone want to take a guess of what this potato chip flavor is? This potato chip flavor. And then we also have this potato chip flavor. This is a squid. And this is peppercorn. The label here says peppercorn flavor. But the receipt implied that it was Szechuan peppercorn. So, after the Lono listening break, we are going to get a full-on reaction for the squid flavor and the peppercorn flavor. I love myself a good Szechuan pepper because it's a numbing, not a spicing, yeah? And I will be trying, absolutely, I will be trying the shrimp one first, without a doubt. Now the squid one first. Now the squid one, maybe for those of you who are more familiar with Chinese packaging, maybe you can tell me what this means, but do you see here, it says negative 50%, then it's got a green leaf, and then it's got, so I'm wondering, like, is this like low sodium, less calories? No, I don't think it's less calories. I'm wondering what it looks like it's, it looks like it's trying to say that it's I mean, not a diet chip, but, you know, it looks like it's low something. Thank you, Terry. Yeah. So, but I don't know what. And so, yeah, I might have to run that through my Google Lens. This one doesn't say it's less than on anything. And Michimama, it looks like Korean writing. Oh. This one does not. This one does. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. So this one definitely looks like it have the Korean writing. Maybe. But this one looks very Chinese to me. Let's see here. Hold on there. That looks like Chinese writing to me. I'll be the first to admit I am not an expert at this, but that looks Chinese to me, right? I feel like this looks like it's Chinese. This might be, I don't know, right? Yeah, so that is what's going to happen after our Lono listening break. Exactly, less is better and north is closer. Okay, yeah, thank you, PP Bang. Yeah, this definitely is, this is undoubtedly Chinese. That much I feel confident. Now, the one flavor that I was gonna get, that the stranger in the aisle was like, no, was cucumber flavored potato chips. I thought that sounded weird and intriguing, and apparently, yeah, they were weird, and so the lady was like, just don't. And see Honda coming in. Hello, not Korean. Okay, cool, fantastic. So glad we're getting that. It only looks sort of Korean because of it's really squared off, and you know how the Korean language has like a square and stuff in it sometimes. Writing, I mean. Anyway, see Honda, you are welcome in with your knowledge. Perfect timing for spreading your knowledge, and then also, right, see, there you go, people bang, the square, right? Does cucumber have a flavor? Well, it does, but like, does it have enough of a flavor for a potato chip, right? Like, I don't know, but, and I probably will eventually try it, but each of these bags cost $4, and there was probably 9 or 10 various flavors in there that I was like, thinking about trying, but I didn't want to spend $4 on 10 different flavors, so we'll probably be going back there and grabbing a few more. And let's see here. All right, so let's see here. We're going to watch a load of listening break just after I read this. Andre says, green labels on Korean snacks have various meanings, often related to health and dietary information. Vegetarian, vegan, green can indicate the product is vegetarian. No, that's definitely not the case on this one, because it's the squid one. And let's see here. Environmentally friendly. Oh, I wonder if it's... Oh, okay. So this... but I do wonder, even if it's not Korean, Andre, I do wonder if the 50% with the green leaf means something like 50% recycled material or something like that. And hey there, Mr. Wensleydale. It should be illegal to put green patches in the artwork on transparent bread bags. Totally, dude. You're all thinking you get yourself some mold. And yes, Kenny, I keep getting distracted. Lono. That's right. We're gonna watch Lono. We're gonna listen to Lono. We're gonna do some Lono, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk about strange potato chip flavors and chopsticks. All right, here we go. Boop.
Kuapaka Molokai. Kuapaka o Molokai, nui ka makani hola a mau mau, kaula na koi noa e ola mau, Molokai Hawali ali o kanaka kai uki uki kalama ula hai o kamili loa awali Ohono uli Molokai nui ahina Moa ke ao pu'ohoku Halawa nui a meiki o halawa E ke pue o wailau Molokai nui ahina Upilo o pele kunu Kaupu moa ula o kalawau O kilai o kalao papa Molokai nui ahina Kuapa o momi kumuma o mao kalua koi kamakani uli ia kalaau Molokai nui ahina Malua hale olono kia e au ho'olehua ka hele o kalaau Aina mai kapuana kuapaka o Molokai nui kamakani o la'a mau Molokai nui ahina Aina mai ana kapuana kuapaka o Molokai nui kamakani o la'a mau Molokai nui ahina Molokai nui ahina Molokai nui ahina
All right, there we go. Welcome in, Michael Anthony Smith. And fat is a matter of placement on Summit renders a cherubic appearance, right, Molly? Perhaps. And other times, the fat in the bottoms of the girls make the rockin' world go round. So, absolutely, the placement of fat does matter, because if the fat bottom girls didn't have their fat bottoms, the world would not go around. All right, you guys, so... what am I saying? Okay, so we've got our tater chips, we're gonna talk about chopsticks, and we're gonna talk about dim sum. So, looking at these chips and figuring out what that means, that's kind of funny because this bag actually has 5 grams of saturated fat, and it's supposedly the one that's lower, but this one only has 2 grams of saturated fat, and it's got no label about it being lower. So that's weird, but whatever. All right. I haven't opened these bags yet. This is all brand new. So we are all going to be party to this first opening of the stuff. Well, it does have other kinds. There's trans fat, 0 grams of trans fat. And then let's see on this one. Also 0 grams of trans fat. But the other fats, 12 grams. I can't read. Oh, yeah, actually, this actually does have less fat. This has 10 grams of fat, 5 of it saturated. This has 12 grams of fat, 2 of it saturated. So, yeah, the labeling is confusing. But, you guys, Stream Elements wants to remind you, we are still on a factor a Factor thing, sponsorship thing. So if you want to use the coupon code, and get yourself some foods, I highly suggest it. Looks like 2 people have done it, so that's pretty awesome. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I cannot promise this is what is done. Well, this is what has happened, but in the last week, I think I've lost like 3 pounds. I'm not saying it's the Factor that did that, but at the same time, I don't know. Oh, you did try to order something for this week, but then they told me your delivery would be after Scott got back, so you canceled. I don't think it counts until it gets delivered. So somebody not on this stream might have used my coupon. Either way, I'm very excited about it because the payouts for this one is kind of high. And so the more people that do it, the more stoked I am. But regardless, this is going to be my dinner for tonight. It's not going to be Chinese food. This is the ugly food that is in the container, but it's actually delicious. Stewed black beans, smoky chicken, and some zucchinis. I will be eating that later. And I don't have any more food picks in regards to my Factor meals, but what I can tell you guys is, I think of the ones that I had this last week, the shredded meat is not my favorite. I'll probably not be ordering those again. And let's see, I did use the coupon. However, they don't tell you before you commit that what the date would be or give you menu choice. Well, I hope that your card doesn't ever get dinged because of the timing, because Shaka's saying, I did use the coupon. However, they don't tell you before you commit what the date would be or give you a menu choice yet. Yeah, so Shak, I really, really, really hope that you actually, I really hope that the cancellation is truly firm, and keep me updated on that. But you did say that the canceling was relatively easy. And I know that whenever I log onto my Factor site to choose my next week's menus, they make the button to adjust or cancel very obvious. So for those of you who are thinking, well, yeah, maybe I want it, maybe I don't like the idea of a subscription, that pisses me off. You can eat it. Canceling the subscription is very easy. And Michael Anthony Smith, absolutely, shredded meat sounds suspicious. But you know how, like, there's shredded chicken burritos or shredded, or a pulled pork sandwich is actually shredded pork, and in real life, it's not always that bad, but in these meals, I was less than... They won't be the first things I'm going to be choosing. And Kenny from the Cove, you need to get that, bannered on and wave that flag from the back of your truck everywhere you go. This is so perfect. Good for you, dude. 350 to 195. That is literally an entire person that you lost, and that is super, super awesome. That is, I'm so proud of you. And Michael Anthony Smith, that's why you don't eat meat. Yeah, although Michael Anthony Smith, Factor does have vegetarian meals. Not nearly the selection of, obviously, the meals with the meat, but they do have vegetarian meals. And let's see here. After I moved in with my spouse and was eating his cooking for a while, I did lose a bunch of weight because not eating junk. That's exactly it. I have a real hard time getting 3 meals a day. My eating habits are disordered. I'm not saying I have an eating disorder, but my eating habits are disordered. And that is never good for your health. And so just getting this regular vegetable meat meal at least once a day, if not twice, I've noticed I have more energy. I've noticed my digestion, we'll just call it digestion, right? Has been nicer. Digestion, you know what I mean? It's all been smooth and good, no disruptions. So, so there we go. Splitting hairs, perhaps, Terry, perhaps. Anyway, speaking of not eating junk food, we're gonna eat some junk food. All right, so this is the squid version. I have not opened it, and you know how when you open chips, that whew. Hey, option digestion sounds like the code. Yes, I think we all know what I'm saying. Don't we? Don't make me spell it out. But it's good to see you, option. If you just tuned in, we are going to be trying squid flavored Lay's, Chinese Lay's potato chips. I'm kind of nervous about even just the puff of when you open a bag of anything. You know, the flavor and the smell is really intense, so let's see. Oh, this smells good. I don't know what kind of coating they've got on them. So, okay. The coating doesn't look too bad, so it doesn't look like a Cheeto per se. So, let's see here, yeah. Looks like a flavored crisp. Ooh. Oh, it's got a little bit of a spice. A little bit of a spice. I can't explain what it tastes like. It's savory. It's got a hint of spicy spice in the background. It's sort of like there's definitely some sort of Chinese 5-spice in the seasoning, but it's a very faint Chinese 5-spice. Yeah, these are the squid chips, and they are, oddly, they have a bit of a kick to them. The ingredients are way too small for me to look at right now, but they definitely have a kick to them. They're very savory. I can honestly say that knowing that it's squid flavored, I still don't recognize the flavor. And if anybody just gave this chip to me, I would eat it, no problem. But I would have no clue. I don't. It's savory. It's a good chip. It's savory. No, and I'm just focusing on the flavor because, quite honestly, this is a Lay's wavy potato chip. I know that it's from China, and so in theory, the potato chip itself might be a little different. And I was actually going to get the plain Lay's to try, to see if the Lay's from China is different than the ones from here. We'll probably do that later. But for the most part, this is a Lay's wavy potato chip. If you've had a Lay's wavy potato chip, the chip itself, the structure of the chip, is identical. It does not taste like seafood. There is absolutely no way that I would have guessed. If someone was saying, it's like, okay, guess. Okay, I'll narrow it down for you. It's some sort of seafood flavor. I would have argued and said, you're lying to me. This is not a seafood flavor. So, I don't know, y'all. I think it's kind of good. If you can, and now I can't handle a whole lot of spice, and I can tell that after I start eating these, the spice is going to start building up. But for real, if you have an opportunity to try the grilled squid Lay's, give it a whirl. I feel like the Western palate. Have ever tasted the shredded squid? No, I haven't, because I've been afeared. And so perhaps it tastes exactly like the shredded squid. I don't know. I'm a little bit less afraid to try the shredded squid now that I've tried this. But I feel like to the Western palate, if you can handle spice, This is a perfectly acceptable flavor. This is not weird at all. I mean, it's weird in the sense that, like, I don't really know what it tastes like, but it tastes good. So, yeah. All right. Does it imbue one with a quiet stillness or still quietness? A spicy quietness. It's like firecrackers on my tongue. Michi Mama, if it tastes anything like this, I'm not surprised that it's so ono. Alright, so this is chip number 3 of the squid. Yeah, I'm still not getting. Nighty night, Michael Anthony Smith. So glad that you could be here. I'm like, okay, so even though, you know, the spice is building up, I was hoping after chip 3, like, maybe another flavor would be building too, that suddenly they'd be like, oh, there's the squid. Or, oh, there's the seafood, or whatever. No. Good, though. I'm very glad I got that. But I don't have the words to describe what it tastes like, oddly enough. So, it tastes like a potato chip, ultimately. And let's see here. In Hawaii, we tried for the first time the shrimp chips. Oh, dude. Okay. But the authentic shrimp chips, oh my god, I fell in love with those. So flavorful. Darlene, tell me about it. I could live off those shrimp chips if, nutritionally speaking, it was allowed. And if people near me would be able to put up with my breath. Because those shrimp chips make your breath stink like nobody's business. But it is. I love those shrimp chips. It's a Chinese product with a Japanese flavor description. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's why you said it was like grilled teppanyaki or whatever. It's like, well, that's not Chinese. That's Japanese. But okay. Let's see here. Well, you know, Kenny, do Squidward's chips flavor suggest a compatible dip? I would not use a cheese dip. I would probably use a cream dip. But quite honestly, what I like to do is take flavored chips and just dip them in plain cottage cheese. And I think that these would go really well with plain cottage cheese. But that's just my weirdo thing. But if the chip is flavored, you know, the cottage cheese doesn't have to be. It's sort of my thing. And Terry, exactly, the stink is worth it. Okay. I like these more than I care to admit, apparently. Because I continue to eat them. So. Alright. Let's do another palate cleanser. Alright, now, this one is the definitely Chinese writing. There we go. Come on. Why can't we do things? This is why we cannot have nice things. Definitely Chinese writing. This may just be regular peppercorn, i.e. black peppercorn, or Szechuan peppercorn. I don't know. I'm guessing Szechuan. Here, why don't we listen to the bag sprinkle for a while? Alrighty. Yeah, this is nothing but quality programming here. There we go. Woo! Yeah, I'm thinking this is a Szechuan. Woo! Yeah, I'm thinking this is a Szechuan peppercorn. Very floral. Very floral, scent. Yeah, okay. So, and then, once again, very typical. Oh, wow. Let's try this one more time. There we go. So, very typical. Looks like a chip. This smells more like seafood than the squid one does. It says Szechuan peppercorn crispy meat flavor. Yeah. I don't like this one at all. Because it's got a meat flavor, but it tastes like meat with flowers. It just tastes flowers. I don't like this. It tastes like flowers. In fact, I was expecting more of a peppercorn kick in this one. The squid one has a better peppercorn kick. This just tastes like flowers. I'm going to eat more because I know I need to give it one more try. I'll even eat 3 of them. Okay, with the second one, the meat flavor is coming through, but it still sort of just tastes like soap. Did my coloring change? Oh, was it because of this, maybe? Is that how my color changed? I just changed my light. Alright, I'm gonna eat one more, y'all. No, that's not my jam. And flowers, what kind of flowers? Good question, Terry. I can't... Oh, okay, wait. Woo! Okay, the spice is now popping up, for sure. Yeah, it's the Sichuan flower pepper. And, the Sichuan peppercorns, have a little bit of, oh, the color changed due to the chip. What color? Did I turn red? Did I turn, like, I didn't like it. I'm not really sure what lighting. I think that's the lighting I was on before. Yeah, you dropped out of Wahiti for a minute. My face is definitely getting redder. Oh, okay, well, then it might be the spice. Because the spice is kicking on. The spice is kicking in. But I will not, that's, no. So, yeah, we gotta, That's funny, my face is getting redder. I'm gonna have to go rewatch that on the video. So I can see just how the chips affected me physiologically. And, you love it when the spice kicks in. Yeah, and it is definitely, numbing on, like, the green peppercorn is the numbing kind of pepper, and I'm starting to feel now on my lips. And I think that was Ashes who just wandered through C Honda, and I meant to grab her, but alas, she escaped. You shall call me Dusty. Exactly, I'm changing color, precisely. Turning a little red. Yeah, which, by the way, you guys, Dusty, it's not even, the hot part of summer yet, and Dusty is turning so brown, orange, red, but his tail and his face and his arms are still all black. I swear, he's looking like the most exotic Siamese cat ever. He's just so, but you know what? I'm a little partial because I love my little boy. All right, so we are not. All right, one more last thing. Factor, you guys should try it. It's awesome. There we go. And if you're gonna try it, you can use my link and you can use the coupon code. But now the coupon code's going away. Boop. Erase that. Oops, wait, that's not erase. Erase the coupon code. Erase the link. Erase the thing. Because now we are talking about dim sum. That's right. So before I went and got all of the potato chips that we just saw, we went and had some dim sum. And my belly was so full after the dim sum that I didn't buy very much at the Chinese food store. Later on, I felt very bad that I didn't, which is why I have to go back. But my belly was so full, I couldn't think of eating and putting more stuff in my basket. So this is some of the stuff that we ordered. We ordered some shumai. Okay, well, dim sum, Darlene, is basically a bunch of little dishes. Dim sum is generally Cantonese oriented. And what you do is, it's best to go with a bunch of people, right? And okay, there you go. Dim sum means things that you eat with tea. So they're just like little nibbles. They're sort of like poo-poos in a weird way. So like when you order, you can see here, this is what one serving of dim sum is, right? So the shumai, let's go look at the top row. You've got shrimp ball, shumai, sticky rice wrapped. And you see the servings, you've got a shrimp ball, you get 4. The shumai, you get 4. The sticky rice wrapped, you get 3. So these are the little dishes, and you order them exactly like Chinese tapas. Perfect, Shock. That's exactly it. And so at this particular restaurant, you have a QR code that you scan, and then yes, exactly. So like different kinds of sushi at Sushi Place, and share the different kinds with friends. Precisely. And so, so this time, we ended up getting some shrimp ball, some shumai, and for those of you who don't know, shumai in Chinese food is also known as pork hash in Hawaii. So like, and I told the friends that took me there, one of them's Korean, one of them's Taiwanese. They were very confused. They didn't understand how shumai could possibly be considered pork hash, but alas, it is. Anyway, so we ended up having some shumai, some shrimp ball. We also ordered the little dragon bun. Now, the little dragon bun is also known as soup dumpling. And I don't know if soup dumpling is something that all y'all are familiar with, but basically it's like a little pot sticker, but instead of just having meat in it, it also has soup. So when you bite into it, you get this juicy bunch of hot liquid before you get the meat. It's very, very delicious. And then let's see here. We also got the chicken feet. And this was the first time I ever tried chicken feet. And I have to tell you, y'all, I don't know if I'd order them on my own, but I will totally be eating chicken feet again. I have been afraid my whole life to eat chicken feet. And rightfully so, I guess. But, because they're feet of the chicken. But I will tell you this much. If you're one of the people who can eat chicken wings and you, like, suck the bone dry from all the meat and all the cartilage off that chicken wing, if you're one of those people, you will like chicken feet. Period. End of story. Kewpie mayo is gross, is what that is, actually, you guys. Kewpie mayo is a mayo from Japan, and it's a real custardy mayo, really egg heavy, and it's got a sweetness to it that a lot of U.S. mayos do not have. I think Kewpie mayo tastes like Miracle Whip. I do not like Kewpie mayo. Tons of people love Kewpie mayo. Kewpie mayo is it's a brand of mayonnaise from Japan, and it's got a cult following like nobody's business. People put Kewpie mayo in their ramen. It's very popular on the islands, I guess. Wouldn't surprise me because it's a very popular Japanese mayo. I do not like it. It has a texture that's a little bit... I'm a Best Foods girl, okay? And so Best Foods is my gold standard. Kewpie mayo is a little too smooth for me. It's smooth like Miracle Whip. It's sweet like Miracle Whip. I'm just not a fan. But a lot of people love the Kewpie mayo. So if you decide to, try an exotic mayonnaise and you see Kewpie mayo, by all means do it. But yeah, Shock, I would not have either. I bought it once just to see, and yeah, no. And Mama Sean, I've never had Duke's mayo, but the thing is because I'm a Best Foods girl, obviously I'm Best Foods oriented, but the only other mayo that I would be willing to try would be Duke's, because Duke's, from what I hear, is really, really good. We just don't have it around here, and so I've never tried it. And so one day I kind of want to get a Duke's Best Foods, like, taste test going on and see what my tried and true Best Foods self feels about Duke's. And for those of you who are on the East Coast and you don't know what the flying fork Best Foods is, that's actually the same thing as Hellmann's. On the east side of the Mississippi, it's Hellmann's. On the west side of the Mississippi, it's Best Foods. Or on the east side of the Rockies, it's Hellmann's. And on the west side of the Rockies, it's Best Foods. I can't remember where the dividing line is in the country, but Best Foods West Coast, Hellmann's East Coast. There we go. And let's see here. C Honda, chicken feet is too much work for me. So many tiny bones. That is true. It is a lot of tiny bones. I brought home a piece of a chicken's foot and I gave it to my cat though, and she about died and went to heaven. She would not leave me alone. Dusty, I don't know what he was doing. He missed out. But Ashes, whoo, boy howdy, she's all about the chicken feet. Let me tell you right now. And, okay, and then you guys, this is another part of the dim sum menu. By the way, the dim sum menu was 3 pages long. We didn't order off of all 3 pages. We basically ordered mostly off of this page. We did get some Chinese broccoli as well because we wanted some greens. But the barbecue pie was basically char siu, in a pastry, super delicious. The pork buns, the baked humbao, and the pork buns, also a humbao. The pork buns were steamed and then fried. The baked humbao was just baked. Humbao on the continental United States is known as manapua on the islands. The turnip cake was really good. I'd never had turnip cake before. My friend, both my friends who had turnip cake before said that this particular version wasn't their favorite because they like their turnip cakes fried a little more crispy. And I think I would like my turnip cake fried a little more crispy as well. But the turnip cake kind of tasted like a mashed potato square with which there was no potatoes. I think it was all turnips, but basically it's just mashed turnips and onions and a little bit of carrot all fried together in a thing. Very tasty, very, very tasty. We didn't order football, but we were going to, but then we were just too full. The shrimp and chive pockets were delicious. And then sesame ball, we didn't order those because the sesame ball, the owner of Waku, so the people who took me out to dim sum, it was one of my bartenders at Waku, Judy, she's Korean, and then my friend Mary, she just goes to Waku. Anyway, the owner of Waku, she makes sesame balls for the regulars, so we didn't order any sesame ball because we can get that for free at Waku. And I've had the black sesame ball as well. Basically, Shock, the black sesame ball is the same as the regular, it's just they've got black sesames instead of just the white ones, right? But I have to say the barbecue pie was probably my favorite thing. Totally delicious. And so we ate and ate and ate until our heart's content. And while we were eating there, I can tell you this right now. We pulled into this place and I knew immediately it was going to be good because it was in the crummiest location ever. Okay? I was driving, Mary was in my car navigating, and she's like, okay, so it looks like you need to go in the post office driveway, but go behind the post office and up the alley behind the post office, and you're gonna hit a wrecking yard, and then by the auto body shop, you're gonna make a U-turn and then there it'll be. I mean, it was the worst location ever. Nobody, if you didn't know it was there, you would never have known it was there. And on a Thursday at noon 30, the parking lot was packed. The restaurant was almost at capacity. I walked in and saw one other white person, and that's it. Oh my god, dude. It was delicious, and I knew it was gonna be good. But what I thought was really funny was, as we're sitting there and we're eating, Judy, who's Korean, she put the chopsticks down and was just like, I cannot use these chopsticks. I hate Chinese chopsticks. And I was like, what? And so she went and she had to get the temporary, cheaper wooden ones with a better grip. And I hadn't thought about it, you guys. And I know that we're going to go a little bit long when I show you this, but there's actually different chopsticks. Like, different parts of the world have different chopsticks. Yeah, that's right. I even brought a map, okay? I even brought a map. Different parts of the world have different chopsticks. And Korea generally has the metal kind, and they have a spoon with their serving. The really, really long ones are the Chinese ones. The ones with the super pointy tapered end, those are the Japanese ones. And here's another example of the difference. The Japanese ones with the tiny little sharp pointy ends are intended for like picking bones out of fishes. The Korean ones are metal because in Korean tradition, the emperors used to use silver chopsticks because silver was reported to be able to detect poisons. And so they've adopted the metal ones. And then, of course, there's all these different ways that you can hold them. And so, Darlene, we're going to watch a quick video, and it's going to talk all about the different kinds. But I can say that of all the videos that I've watched, and I've watched, last night I went down a rabbit hole, I watched a bunch of different Asian people trying the different chopsticks. And the Chinese ones are slippery, but the Korean ones are the most difficult across the board. Everybody says the metal Korean ones are the most difficult, especially for slippery things like noodles because they're slippery. Whereas these generic, more Japanese style, they're wooden. They've got texture on the ends to help grip. And then yes, the metal ones get really hot. And so that's why, even though in Korea they use the metal to eat with, you'll never see anybody cooking with metal chopsticks. Too dangerous. They get too hot. They always use the wooden ones for cooking. And Terry, all I know is don't rub chopsticks, detachable chopsticks in a Japanese restaurant as it casts aspersions on the management. Absolutely. And it's funny you should say that because when Judy, my friend, asked for the disposable wooden ones because they have better grip, I didn't watch her, but I did watch her to see if she did do the whole verperter. And I could see she almost did, and then she stopped herself. And so I didn't say anything, but I was just like, yeah, she almost did, but she stopped herself. And in Thailand, you don't get chopsticks unless you have noodles. Right, well, yeah, actually, one of the reasons why in Korea they have the spoon along with the chopsticks at your setting is because in Korea they don't eat rice with chopsticks. They eat rice with their spoon. And so, yeah, every continent, every country, has a little bit different, customs about it. But anyway, let's watch this quick video, which it's gonna bring us about 5 minutes or 3 minutes past the bottom. But I wanted to share this with you because, you know, we all think we know about chopsticks, right? Yeah, you don't. And as it turns out, a lot of Asian people are unfamiliar with the fact that, oh, that country doesn't use our kind. I thought our kind was the only kind, right? But no, there are plenty kind. And yeah, let's watch this.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike Chen. Today, let's talk about something that most Asians use every single day, chopsticks. Now, chopsticks are super useful. You can use it to eat, obviously, but you can also use it to keep your hair up, you can cook with it, and they're super convenient because you can basically find them anywhere. Say you're on a camping trip and you forget utensils, then just break off a couple of branches and you're set. Can't do that with a fork. Anyway, the Chinese have been wielding chopsticks since at least 1200 BC, but they were mainly used for cooking until around 400 AD when people started to eat with them. And by 500 AD, they were spread across Asia to places like Korea and Japan. Now, I have to admit something. I've eaten at countless Chinese, Korean, Japanese restaurants, and I'm ashamed to say, although thinking about it now, I see it, but at the time, I really did not notice the differences between Chinese, Korean, and Japanese chopsticks. And yes, there are differences. First, let's talk about Chinese chopsticks. Chinese chopsticks are typically made with bamboo, plastic, or ivory. They are much longer and thicker than Korean and Japanese chopsticks. The reason they are long is because Chinese foods are often served on rotating tray tables or lazy susans, and these tables are typically larger, so you need longer chopsticks if you were to have any chance of reaching for that fish dish that your uncle is always hogging. And if you'll notice, Chinese chopsticks do not taper towards the end as much as Korean and Japanese chopsticks. Also, they are thicker because Chinese people typically eat family style, and the bigger chopsticks allows you to pick up more food. Now let's talk about Japanese chopsticks. The Japanese people developed chopsticks for different types of use. They have chopsticks for cooking, for eating sweets, for funerals. Japanese chopsticks are shorter than Chinese chopsticks and much pointier at the ends. And the reason behind that is supposedly because the Japanese diet consists of large amounts of whole bony fish, and the pointed ends makes it easier to remove small bones from the fish. And finally, the Korean chopsticks are much tougher than the Chinese and the Japanese ones because they are often made with stainless steel. This is because in ancient Korea and China as well, they believed that silver chopsticks could detect poisonous foods. That's why all the chopsticks used by the emperor were made out of silver. Also, typically Korean chopsticks are always paired with a spoon because Koreans actually used a spoon and not the chopsticks to eat the rice. Now, all of these chopsticks have their pros and cons. For example, the Korean chopsticks may be heavier, but it's more hygienic, and it offers a better workout while eating. The Japanese chopsticks are shorter and pointier at the tip, which makes it easier to pick up all the small amounts of food that they give you, and trust me, you're gonna need every bit of it. And the Chinese chopsticks are great when you're competing for food against your hungry friends. So use the Chinese chopsticks to grab all the food, use the Japanese ones to pick out the fish bones and the peppercorn, and use the Korean ones to reflect light into your enemies, your friends' eyes, so you can distract them from the last piece of Peking duck. Okay, I'm just kidding, don't do that. But I've gotta say, I am super envious of girls because if I wanna carry chopsticks on me, and guys, you should always have a pair of chopsticks with you at all times. Super useful if you want to eat foods like Cheetos but don't want the orange fingers. Anyway, so if I wanna take the chopsticks with me, I'm gonna have to put it into a case or something. It doesn't really fit into my pockets. But ladies, all you gotta do is put your hair up, you stick your chopsticks in there, and when you need it, you whip it out, you get to do a dramatic hairstyle change, which is awesome, and you're ready to eat. Just to remember, after eating, make sure you clean off your chopsticks before sticking it back into your hair, where you're gonna walk around smelling like Chinese food all day. Which, you know what, actually sounds pretty good. Somebody needs to go and bottle those scents like Chanel fried rice, Calvin Klein Kung Pao chicken. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below, which chopsticks do you like to use the most? Thank you all so much for watching this video. See you later.
This guy is where they find this dude. He is a content creator. He's a food blogger on YouTube. He used to live in Seattle. He's lived in a bunch of different places. But I followed him when he lived in Seattle. He's quite funny, actually. So I chose that one because I happen to like that content. I happen to like him as a content creator. And yes, I chose it though because it was a little bit silly, but it was also quick, punchy explanations for this, that, and t'other. And so yeah, if you guys ever want to, just for funsies, go, next time you're at an Asian mart or whatever, go look at the chopsticks and maybe go buy a pair of the metal, a pair of the Chinese, and a pair of the Japanese and a pair of the Chinese, and then try picking different stuff up with them, and you'll definitely see, like, there is a difference. Luckily, I use my metal ones almost exclusively at my house, and so I'm training on the most difficult. But let me just tell you right now, the metal ones are... You need to refine your technique, because the metal ones can be tricky. Let me just say that. And oh good, see Honda, you know who Mike Chen was. Exactly. And Darlene, right, now that you understand the differences, you're gonna go take a look and see what you've got in your stash. That's right. All right, you guys, so thanks for hanging out for an extra 6 minutes so we can talk about the chopsticks. I know, very random thing to talk about, but it occurred to me, this is exactly the type of random thing that we need to talk about. So, hopefully we will see each other on Wednesday at 5 p.m. West Coast time. But you know what I really hope? You know what I hope. I hope that we get to see each other tomorrow at 6:30 West Coast time, 3:30 Hawaii time. Not quite sure exactly what time, but hopefully tomorrow we'll find the time and we'll all be there. So yes, that's right. Andy Bumatai, Daily Pigeon Live, beginning again. So the rumor mill has told us, and shocked, no, I have not. But I'm glad that you're bothering me, because I would totally forget if you didn't keep asking me. All right, you guys. So we will, like I said, hopefully see each other tomorrow. And if we don't, then we'll see each other Wednesday. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And have a good week. Have a good one.